Good morning to the southwest of France. Tuesday, October 11th. This is the Samsung Galaxy World Surf League Championship Tour. My name is Peter Mel, and this is Dawn Patrol as we go into day 11. What is it? Day 8 of the waiting period. And of course, on today's Dawn Patrol, we'll be taking a look at a few things. And of course, those are the GoPro Challenge, and loving the GoPro Challenge and some of the greatest and best that we've seen from Hossegor so far. And then the Keanu Asing and John Florence Battle of the Hawaiians. And then we get to meet up with Stephen Bell and his Euroglass all through the southwest of France here. Those guys putting together the best surfboards here in the business. Good morning. Strider Wazalewski, welcome to the show. Also, Gig Cilliers, and another chilly morning down here as we keep our hands warm. And you look over our shoulder. Conditions again there, Strides?
Yeah, it's chilly. It's straight offshore, beautiful conditions, but it looks a little small to me. We'll find out because it's still too dark to really tell how good the waves are. But they definitely need to get us some heaters because it's cold down here.
Gigs, yesterday, saw you find a little left bank to yourself, got a few waves. Nice to have a little lay day action.
Well, Pete, yeah, listen, to be here amongst you guys watching the world's best and this European leg is just such a privilege to be soaking it all up. But gee, the mornings are freezing here. It's hard to, and then by lunchtime people are out in their swim shorts and bikinis, so it's quite a diverse day every day here in France.
You got your quiver of laundry there, so you can go into board shorts in the afternoons. Of course, kind of something happened here recently. Hurricane Matthew took a path through the Caribbean, up through the east coast of the USA, and it had some major destruction. Strider, Matthew, we took a look at it. We always look at it for surf, but unfortunately it does some pretty mean things through the Caribbean.
It sure does. Just relentless. Haiti just got smashed in Waves for Water. John Rose is down there. He's been, part of the relief crew, and everybody else that's down there helping out. Thank you so much for being down there. The reality of this is when these things roll through, it just destroys the infrastructure. So they come down, they try to get everybody back into working mode, and the main part of that is just clean water, drinking water, and that's the main part of Waves for Water, is just to get that back and restore order through that. And it's the lifeline of everybody, the world, the oceans, our bodies. So thanks, John.
Yeah, what you said there, Pete, is that surfers would need these storms to generate swells, but there is always that flip side. So surfing community globally reaching out, to support humanity. It's an amazing cause.
Well, in Haiti, no infrastructure there. Luckily, Waves for Water has been doing a lot of work in Haiti already, so they actually probably have the best organization to be able to get everything that's needed there. So if you want to go to wavesforwater.org and help with the relief effort there, we'd greatly appreciate it. And John Rose, good work. We always love that you're part of the program here and always a supporter of the World Surf League. Now, looking forward, of course, we need to have the call. And looking over our shoulder, I know that Rosie Hodge is down there with Jesse Miley-Dyer to give us the situation. How's it going down there?
I am. It's pretty brisk down here, Peter. Stay warm on the desk. But Jesse, you've been keeping an eye on the lineup. The sun's just peaked. Have you seen any waves when we get the contest underway?
Yeah, we've been hiding up in our office. It's freezing down here this morning, and there are like little tiny waves and perfect conditions, but we're going to be off for today. I think that, what we're looking at a Wednesday or even Thursday look way better than what we have now. It's really small, and, the offshore cold wind, hopefully tomorrow is still going to make it really groom. So, I'm going to hope for tomorrow.
All right, let's enjoy our day off and look forward to tomorrow. Maybe we'll see the action hit the water. Back to you, Pete.
Thank you, Rosie. And courtesy of Surfline, we're able to see what we have for the next few days. And right today, looking like we're going to have some sunshine again, but that surf on the small side. But we do have some opportunities as we look at the Surfline forecast.
Well, you can see that swell is generated out there, and we had a pretty solid swell coming across, but then it just receded, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're not seeing what we want. And then there's another one, a building swell. So coming through Wednesday, Thursday, it looks pretty good. Wind should remain offshore, and we should have some really solid surf, probably 4 to 6 feet, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's what we're really looking forward to. Today, it is just going to kind of roll off through the day. As you heard, the waves are small this morning, and it's just going to continue to drop. So we're just walking away from the day's conditions because of small surf. But there it is, Wednesday, Thursday. There's solid surf on the way, and that's what we're hoping for. A nice, exciting finish with nice conditions. It looks like offshore all day Wednesday and Thursday morning. So that could be really good for us, Pete.
And at some point, we will be finishing this competition as we have the semifinals, both for the Quiksilver and the Roxy Pro. And then, of course, when we come back from the break, we're going to check out all of the GoPro clips that we've been able to see from the entries there. The GoPro Challenge coming up after the break.
soul and a soul on the 45.
Drop the needle, DJ on a hot 45. This world's spinning out of control. Hit us with a truth and a funky beat. Save us lost and heavy soul. Yeah, let it rip, let it roll. Right or wrong doesn't mean a thing at all in a world where money is king. Play another song for the folks on the floor, stuck on the outside looking in. Yeah, spin the record around. Oh yeah, turn up the sound. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
It's what in the groove that counts. Don't you pay them fools, no, never mind. Money grabs, reaching up at fortune and fame. Watch out, they'll rock you blind. Oh yeah, let it slip, let it slide. Oh yeah, burn the house down tonight. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, hey, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Hi, I'm Leonardo Fioravanti and this is your GoPro breakdown. Here we are down the beach at the contest site, which is Lake Cuneux. All the boys are warming up for the contest.
So you gotta break it down.
A little bit further down the beach there is La Gravière, which works on high tide. This bank, Lake Cuneux, it's still heavy barrels, but it's not as gnarly. But you can still get some long right-hand barrels and also left-hand barrels, and it'll be great to just get out there and get some long rides with the barrels into a couple turns.
Thank you, Leo Fioravanti, for his version of the GoPro breakdown as you look at the oversights here of Lake Cuneux, the major primary site for what we've seen here at this competition. But the GoPro Challenge, another event within an event, and we've got a few entries that we'd like to see here, Strider. And of course, POV, right there, get in the barrel. Kind of better than trying to explain a barrel is to see the barrel.
I know, it'd be great if you could get that like feel of vision, because like there's nothing like that feeling of being inside the tube. There's absolutely no way to describe that, but you can see it with the GoPro Challenge. And you know, you get a GoPro in a competition. If you capture it, it's $15,000. So that's if you have a jersey on. Free surf, you get 10 G's. Just a little change in the bottom of the ashtray there for these guys.
Gigs and a little change. Gigsy, I mean, you look at the criteria there, cinematography. What is the most important aspect for you if you're looking at a GoPro Challenge?
Well, I like those bulletin
entry
points there because there's much more to it now, right? I mean, this whole thing of having the camera, bringing the perspective, it's developing. So they're looking at a number of things, the videography, the depth of the barrel, the lighting. I saw stuff like that. So there's technical stuff going on in this
What's most important to you?
Well, to all of us, deep in the barrel,
That's right. Well, let's take a look at Sebastian Zietz and his entry. We've got 4 entries to show you today. Sebastian Zietz looking down at La Grave. And Strider, give us a little lowdown and give us your tube face as you look through some of these barrels.
Oh, there he is. I love this guy because you know he always finds a little hole, a little rabbit hole. Look at this guy. Watch him come down the line. You see that lip thrown over there? Boom. And then he's up under it. He's guiding himself. He's probably got the camera in his mouth, so he's trying to breathe through and go through the barrel and dodge the lip and try to weave and do everything he's got to do with that camera in his mouth. And then you've got to try and dodge out of the end doggy door there with the lip hitting you in the head. So Seabass did a pretty good job right there. I like the way that worked out for him. Got a nice little tube.
Bit of a snowy one for him. And Adam Melling, we saw his GoPro entry the other day, and one of them felt like he didn't make it, right? It was at the very end. It was a super deep one, and then here he is again doing it from behind. This one a little bit more sunshine there, Giggs.
Yeah, well, this is the aspects that will be used on the judging, which is the best GoPro challenge offering of this event. And well, little details there to Adam, but a little sunshine too, so I'm voting the sunshine on that one.
Cathles is also the next one here as you look at Davey, and again, even a little bit more sunshine.
I like this one, okay? Look at this thing throating out. It looks like an inside double up, and it's got the chandeliers falling in front of him. You know, it's really hard to negotiate a barrel, let alone deal with the water falling. And then watch this at the end. This guy, he almost runs him over on the way out. He's got to turn away from him right there.
Watch out!
So that right there to me is really technical. It was a long, deep tube. I like it. Then he gives you the what's up. Look. Yeah, he's pointing at the guy he almost ran over right there. I loved it. I like that, Cathles. Good work, buddy.
There's his tube face. And then you've got Joel Parkinson. This one is pretty good. This one is a little bit wider as a barrel, right? It's got a little bit more of it's probably a better tube.
Well, this is where all the content of Davey Cathles' contribution will play up against the clean, pure line drive that Parko's experiencing here. And I mean, gee, we all know this is the ultimate moment as a surfer, but to capture it with this incredible equipment, our global partner GoPro, bringing us just such a unique angle in this modern era of the sport.
So true. Which one do you choose there?
I'm going to go with Cathles just for all that content.
All right, so he's got a little bit more of the creativity. Strider, you?
I like both of them. I kind of like the wide open look of Joel's at the end there, though. When it went frothy and white watery and just had that just wide open barrel shot, it was nice. But I do like Cathles, turn out at the end, almost running the guy over. That's a hard one right there.
For all you folks at home, you can see that content on worldsurfleague.com/GoPro challenge, and that would you can see it all. There's all sorts of entries in there. Of course, the best ones are there to be had. When we come back from the break, we'll be talking about. Who are we going to talk about? Euroglass. I did a tour with Stephen Bell. We get to explain him and his work.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Drop the needle, DJ on a hot 45. This world's spinning out of control. Hit us with a truth and a funky beat. Save us lost and heavy soul. Yeah, let it rip, let it roll. Right or wrong doesn't mean a thing at all in a world where money is king. Play another song for the folks on the floor, stuck on the outside looking in. Yeah, spin the record around. Oh yeah, turn up the sound. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Oh, it's what in the group that counts. Don't you pay them fools, no, never mind. Money grabs, reaching up my fortune and fame. Watch out, they'll rock you blind. Oh yeah, let it slip, let it slide. Oh yeah, burn the house down tonight. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, hey, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive.
Welcome back to Dawn Patrol, Hossegor, France. Some compare it to the North Shore of Europe. I mean, this place, barrels, rich history, not like a place that we would understand. Each part of the world that's like surf-centric has a zone in which everybody comes to, and Hossegor, France in Europe is one of those places. Strider, you've been able to come here. You look at the rich history throughout this region. Why is that? Why is this place so pleasant for people to come?
Well, it's interesting. the realities of the cold mornings, the really warm days, and then those chilly nights. I just love that aspect of it. But the waves are amazing. The North Atlantic fires up. It's it's got a lot of energy, and then these sandbars, they're so vast. There's so much action here. There's so many options, which is why it makes such for a dynamic event. But it's like, surfing has done such justice to this area. You realize that Cabreton was basically the fishing village and the main draw here, and then all of a sudden surfing started to grow, and really the entire village of Hossegor became, a really vibrant, zone for all the stores and shopping and
similar
tourists. It's pretty amazing, yeah.
Similar to what J-Bay or Santa Cruz or Huntington Beach.
Torquay, or there's all these zones where, but the focus is the ocean, right? That deep water trench out the back just brings all those swells in. So wherever there's perfect waves, well, you get this whole culture that folds in, and it's the old, beautiful, rich, noble French layered on top of that. It's an amazing visit.
It sure is, and I know this industry here is surfing has provided an industrial zone where all the brands are represented. I was lucky enough to catch up with Euroglass, or Stephen Bell at Euroglass, and check this out. Bit of a piece on some of the history here. When you visit Hossegor, France, you have to hit the industrial zone. This place where all the manufacturing for the brands in the surf industry are represented right here in this region. Let's go take a tour of Euroglass, the best institution of this area, with Stephen Bell. Come with me. Stephen! Hi! There he is. Good to see you.
You know one of these.
Yeah.
I've got a family business.
I do.
We have the offices here with all memorabilia of my experiences through Kelly for the last 20 years. Bit of history. You know you want too many world titles when they start giving the world title trophies away. Go at the back, into the production room. Come through, Kate.
So this is where a surfboard's made from, a blank. These are polyurethane, and there's also EPS, which is a different style of blank.
Okay.
I want to see the computer. I want to see where we design these things.
So it's already cut the top of the board, it's been flipped over, and now it's cutting the bottom.
How long for one board?
About 20 minutes. So that would have taken a lot of work, doing it by hand. It's great for the customer because they can come back and get another one exactly the same. Anything's possible, you can just make a millimetre change, or you can make a huge change.
So it's not all just finished after a computer. You have to actually go in there and touch it with your hands. And this is really kind of where the magic is put in. All that soul, all that experience by the artiste right here, Simon Anderson.
Back to work.
So this is where you put the hard shell over the top. This is called the glassing. You actually use shaved weaved glass, and they use polyurethane resin. Layer on the top, layer on the bottom. Let it dry. And then the next process, they'll put a wax resin coating, which is actually like a fill coat, similar to what you would do for a car. You fill all the cracks and all this stuff, and then you sand it. This is actually before it gets sanded. So I was talking about the fill coat. These are filled with they call it a hot coat.
Hot coat, yeah.
And it's got a little bit of wax in it, so this actually is much easier to sand. And you put the edges on it. You've got probably the shaper or the designer of the computer. Generally, they're the same person.
Yep.
You've got a laminator, which we saw.
Finish coat up, polish up.
Flosser.
Then you got to go and pack them all the way to the end. They're a nightmare.
Thank you. Always good to have a tour. Euroglass. The place is epic.
Ooh.
I love to talk with my hands, and Stephen Bell, a legend here, made a move from Australia to this region. Not only has he developed Euroglass and that as a place of business for him, but he's also a facet of this tour.
Well, yeah, he's been on tour for 20 years. He's been there with Kelly. He's been the Quiksilver pit boss, basically, and he's always there for everybody. And now, after all that success with Kelly, he's moved on to Leo Fioravanti, who's
right.
He's just breeding these young guys coming up and taking care of them and showing them the right path. And he's been there. I mean, you must have seen him for years now, gigs over in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. The global audience, always seeing that figure in the background, supporting Kelly through the greatest track record of any sport. And, the other thing just to add is a smart move from Bally to come and base here. Over the history books, you look back, Tom Curran came to spend a few years here. Potts has lived here. So, geez, what a place to live, be productive, and, well, capitalize on the barrels.
Yeah, well, the lifestyle here, too, right? I mean, they really do know how to live down here in France. They have a really good tempo of life, and they live life to the fullest, and they enjoy the days.
Such a rich history here. Of course, Quiksilver in St. John de Luz, which is just down the road. Quiksilver have been a big part of this region as well. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the grudge match between John Florence and Keanu Singh. Can't wait for that.
I just hit him, and then he fell, and then get up, beat him up.
I got over it last year.
Last year, me and John are friends.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Drop the needle, DJ on a hot 45. This world's spinning out of control. Hit us with a truth and a funky beat. Save us lost and heavy soul. Yeah, let it rip, let it roll. Right or wrong doesn't mean a thing at all in a world where money is king. Play another song for the folks on the floor. Stuck on the outside looking in. Yeah, spin the record around. Oh yeah, turn up the sound. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
It's what in the group that counts. Don't you pay them fools, no, never mind. Money grabs, preaching about fortune and fame. Watch out, they'll rock you blind. Oh yeah, let it slip, let it slide. Oh yeah, burn the house down tonight. Here we go now. Alright, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Alright, hey, life ain't black and white. It's music, feel it, come alive. We got soul and a soul on the 45.
We got soul and a soul on the 45.
Don't run it, 'cause I'm supersonic. Never had a time for no butterfly, don't get a butterfly, I should.
Wow, this man another step closer to his destiny.
Just 'cause I like what you go on, like you say. On up, we won't give up, we will.
Courtney Conlock keeps the world title race alive as she heads to the semifinal.
Welcome back to Dawn Patrol. If you're just joining us, today is off. We will not be doing any competition today. We will check back tomorrow morning at an early 8 a.m. once again to see if we will get in competition. But we are talking about the Quiksilver Pro and the Roxy Pro. We've got the semifinals set. And of course, some of the best grudge matches that we've seen. We're going to be from two Hawaiians, and they're great friends. Giggs, your touch on Keanu Singh and John Florence in that semifinal battle.
Wow, such a hard one to predict. The fact of the matter is Keanu's on an absolute burner, and I love the bookend discussion, right? Points, every heat is absolutely vital. Another heat advances, another 1,500 points. It's more dollars in the bag. It's as important for Keanu to get this win as John to keep focus.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We had Banting and Singh making it through, or sorry, in that quarterfinal, both of those two fighting for their lives on tour. And of course, Singh won that one and made a lot more points and jumped up. And even if he could beat John here, could even find himself into the finals and actually probably get himself right into that top 20 picture.
Well, I mean, that would be a huge feat for Keanu. The kid's on fire, that backhand weapon. Depending on the swell, surfacing, hopefully through Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to see exactly what we're going to have on the plate to eat, and these guys are going to go out there and attack.
Should we put him in the cage?
It can be done, right? we saw Keanu take down Gabriel in Brazil.
It's totally doable.
So,
and I'm going to say, but if they put the gloves on, who's going to win that battle?
Well, I think at this point, it would be John with the reach, but back in the day,
I don't know.
when they used to hang out, it was a little bit different when height hadn't corrected itself.
This is great stuff. Take a look at this. I mean, these guys, they've known each other for so long.
Yep.
They've grown up on the beach at Pipeline. Keanu Singh making a trek over there from the town and coming to Pipeline, and of course battling with these guys.
We'll see if Keanu's tagline stays true in the end here.
Hard over height. Check it. Look at this. This is great stuff.
John used to box Ivan and Nathan, and he was obviously bigger than them, so he used to beat them up. And John was the guy back then. He was like, oh, John, oh, it's the guy, whoa. So I went in and I like put the boxing gloves on, and I was pretty freaked out. John fully just hits me down the middle. I get caught with one. I got really scared, and I came in and I hit him one time, and I like just hit him, and then he fell, and then Alex told John like, get up, beat him up.
And then we started boxing, and Keanu beat me up, and I was all bummed. I got over it last year.
Last year, me and John are friends. No, he let me beat him in Portugal.
Yeah, he was falling out. I had to let him requalify.
He let me beat.
How is that? And of course, good morning. Those guys are down there in the competitors area checking out the action. And, again, who's going to win this battle? I love this scenario.
Keanu's listening. How can I give an opinion right now? Look, the fact of the matter is what I like about John in round 5 is he rolled his sleeves up and he scrapped his heats out on 5s and 6s. He's not the 10 or 2 guard that you guys described when you've been analysing John Florence. So it's going to be a great showdown.
Different man. Strider? Last thoughts for today? Nothing. He's silent.
Yeah, no, I think the reach is going to get you, Keanu. Sorry. I think you're going to catch one down the pipe.
There you have it. The Quiksilver Pro and Roxy Pro are on hold until tomorrow morning. Come back to Dawn Patrol, 8 a.m. We'll be here.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.